Well, back on the next episode. It's a low carb day today. Just getting the kitchen ready before I start cooking. I come home after work and get everything organized. Try to get all these dishes cleaned and situated. But yep, we got a low carb day today. So we got oats with our breakfast, and then the rest of the day it is salads, and then dinner is 4 slices of French toast rather than our normal high carb day of 8. I was a little disappointed yesterday after the full upper body workout. I gained like 5 pounds from the high carb day, which, I mean, you're supposed to gain weight after high carb days because your body's, retaining extra fluid in the muscle, which is a good thing. But it's just like, it's making it very apparent to me, okay, now we definitely got to start taking check-in photos, because you don't want to consistently just lose more and more weight. That does mean you're shrinking. And as a bodybuilder, when you see the weight go down, you feel small. I definitely am feeling small. But we'll be having this with breakfast. Diet Coke, caffeine free. It's a good day. But if your bodybuilding is going really well, and especially if you're using PEDs, you shouldn't see a drastic weight loss up to a certain point, depending on how fat you were when you started. And I was pretty fat, so the first 26 pounds I lost, I mean, it makes sense. But now that I'm kind of stagnating around 240, and I've definitely decreased my diet this week, we're going to keep monitoring and see what happens. But we definitely just need to take photos now so I can be 100% certain that the diet's doing what it should, and I'm doing enough cardio to see myself getting lean where I need to, because you're your own worst critic, and it's hard sometimes to see the progress right before you. So I'm going to be monitoring myself more closely with check-ins. I'll probably start taking check-ins. I mean, Monday morning would be best, but Monday morning, I'm kind of busy. That's when I get my day started. That's when I get my week started, and I have an early morning client. So I gotta wake up real early and take my check-ins. But the reason why I think that would be the best day, because it would be after my low carb day. So I'm always going to be the leanest and holding least amount of water under the skin. And that will give me a very accurate representation of what I look like. It will be after a rest day, so I won't be holding extra inflammation. So generally that's the best day. And then early in the morning is the best, because your body is the most consistent at that time of the day. Or, because you don't know what could go on in your day. And if a lot goes on in your day, then you might be stressed out or something, and therefore retaining more water weight from the stress. There's a lot of things that can happen. So that's why it's generally regarded the best to take check-ins in the morning. Some guys take check-in photos after their workouts, but that's kind of like cheating, because you're going to look bigger and fuller, of course. And you're going to get this false image like, oh man, my muscles are getting bigger. This diet's really working. Yeah, but you're going to deflate in a little bit. So you probably, should get a photo of yourself when you're not pumped, and then maybe take another when you are pumped to get a comparison. That would probably be best case scenario. All right, so kitchen's ready. Roommate did not refill the water filter, so I got to filter more water before I can drink it. And we're going to do cake batter with almond extract flavoring with espresso and cocoa powder like we normally do. It's just the thing I enjoy the most. I probably don't see this breakfast changing for a while. If anything else is going to change, my moderate carb day, I will take out half the French toast on that day as well. Just because it's at the end of the day, and really, like I've said before, the carbs are only there to increase serotonin before bed, so I don't feel super, I don't know what you call it, but I feel really stimulated after a workout, and the carbs kind of get me to relax, and I have a better time, easier time sleeping, but it sort of just relaxes me. But other than that, the meals are going to stay the same. I think next week, 100%, no changes. I don't want to change too much, too soon, too often, too frequently. And I'll just leave it as is and see what happens. And then I think the next adjustment will be to start increasing cardio. The running I did on Wednesday definitely negatively impacted my deadlifts yesterday. I mean, I could feel during the run, my hips, my glutes, my hamstrings and quads were all getting really fired up and pumped up, which I knew like, oh, great. Now like my legs got to recover from this. It impacts your overall like fatigue. So rather than like a productive Wednesday where I just do cardio and burn calories, you know, I trained something new. I added a new stimulus, and I think it impacted my ability to deadlift the following day. Because yesterday I was really hoping to deadlift 405 for 12 and get like a small increase. Instead, my first set, I literally did like 4 or 5 reps and my back was like, dude, fuck this, fuck you. We ran yesterday, hell no. So I was like sitting there feeling sorry for myself, and then I got pissed off. I was like, you know what, fuck this. And then I went ahead and just pushed myself through it, and I got 10 reps. So I matched my effort from the previous week, which is what I needed at minimum, because if I'm getting weaker, I always feel like I'm getting smaller, which isn't exactly what happens, but it's just the way it makes me feel, and I don't enjoy the way that feels. So ground out the 10 reps. They actually looked really good, and I'll upload those on a short. So I was very pleased with how that turned out. And then the rest of the workout carried on fantastically. I beat all my other numbers. I just needed that like positive mindset like shift. And I just needed to feel as strong as I wanted to. And like I was saying, with all the running fatiguing me, I'm not going to add more running cardio days right now until I know my body can recover from this. So is it a skill that I find 100% necessary? Do I need to get better at running? No, I don't. It's probably really demanding on my body because it's a higher, intensity form of cardio. My heart rate was sitting about 140 the whole time I was running. And because of that, it's going to tend to burn more carbs, which isn't what I want. I want to maintain muscle fullness. I don't want to, string out my muscles by doing too much cardio. But, I'm also not getting ready for a bodybuilding show. I can make this adjustment where I want to because it's my body, my choice. And, I really want to feel capable again. After an injury, it's very easy to always be apprehensive and scared to do anything with yourself again. You think you're going to get hurt. And you can get hurt if you're an idiot. But at some point, you do need to push yourself. You need to find where your boundaries are again. You can't go based off of your post-injury boundaries. Those were there to keep you safe. But if you're healed and scientifically you're ready to go and a doctor even cleared you, then at some point, you got to sack up. Because I've met a lot of people when I was injured, and, they relate to you like, oh man, I'm in the same place, but some of those people don't have the positive mindset because they haven't gotten through it yet. They're still looking at it as like, oh, I'm so fucked up, man. Like, I don't think this is ever going to get better. Like, you're probably going to be worse than me. Like, people would say shit like that was just very negative and would bring me down. But, I looked at them and I looked at myself, and that ego kicked in. It was like, I'm not you. I'm not you. Like, I can't be you. If I were you, I would just not be happy. I distinguished myself from them and decided like, fuck this. So that's what pushes me to do those little extra things that I probably should or shouldn't do. But at the end of the day, I feel amazing knowing I was able to use my leg in an athletic way and not just shuffling around like a waddling bodybuilder. Bodybuilding's cool, but I don't want to feel like a fat sack of shit who, can't run because they're not healthy enough to. I want to feel capable. And I think a lot of bodybuilders would rather not run. Hey, your body, your choice, right? So they're cool. It's whatever. But I know what I want to do. I used to see videos of Andreas Munzer. Big motherfucker. Homie was like 260 in the off season. And he used to go running on the beach. I thought it was the funniest video ever, seeing him run. But he got it done. Like, he did it. And, you can't knock the guy. So I'll work on the running, keep rehabbing the foot. I'll leave the regular cardio in, and next week I'll run again. I'll see how it affects my hex bar deadlifts. It'll probably, be similar to what happened this week. I'm just going to try and stay as strong and not expect to be stronger. And then after 2 weeks, I think my body should make the adaptations necessary to tolerate running and recovering from it. And at that point, I expect my deadlift to begin improving and moving forward again. And at that point, we'll be, taking check-ins. We'll be seeing where we're getting leaner, and we'll see if we need to add more cardio or not. And, we'll just make slower, more subtle adjustments. I still got about 12 weeks to go on this cut, and I got to remind myself that, and only so much can happen in 1 week at a time, but a lot can happen over 12 really good weeks. So I'm not going to screw myself over doing too much too soon. I'll just play it slow. And if I need more time, I'll take more time. I don't need to be done on a deadline. I'm in no rush. But for some reason, I keep getting in this mindset like, oh, you're going to be ready at this time, at this point. Like, what the fuck for? There's no point. Just get ready. Well, I positioned that camera so you guys could see me like put dishes away. So let me just move this. I realized I was cooking without my apron. And I do wear the apron for style, but also I always get food spilled on me when I'm cleaning and cooking. So it's a necessary thing. I didn't wear it one of these days because I was just busy like paying attention to what video I was making and stuff. And then I noticed I like spilled, I think it was Chipotle juice, red, on my brand new shirt that I just got. And I was like, no! Luckily, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser came to the saving, and it cleaned it right off. So if you guys ever spill things on like cotton fabric type shirts, Mr. Clean Magic Eraser will save your ass every time. I also use it to clean my Vans and my shoes, keep them nice and clean. I used to like never clean my shoes as a kid, but when my dad would do it, and I guess since, getting older, I appreciated having clean shoes. So I just kind of kept them clean. It looks good, But I am just getting more and more excited for the off season. I can't wait to like add food in and watch myself get stronger and grow muscle. I feel like I've been spinning my wheels, getting fat and having to lose the fat just over the years and just not properly applying my bodybuilding principles. So this will be my first off season. This is like I'd call this my third major cut that I've actually lost more than 20 pounds and gotten into pretty good shape. Like I'm pretty close to having abs. They're kind of soft. I don't have amazing ab genetics. They're not super visible. But we're working on it, I'm actually putting in ab training. Just like the running, I'm putting in things as I can tolerate them. Once before, I did so much ab work. Like the week I decided, I need abs. And I did a bunch of ab work and overworked my hip flexors because they work with your abdominals. And I fucked my back up. I've had to more and more just like realize like little things like cardio are a form of training. They put demands on your body, and you need to treat those with respect in terms of how you adjust your training and diet. Because if you do too much too soon, before you're ready, before your body's adapted to it, you're going to fucking feel it, and it is not going to be a good time. Really like these green onions. Plus, I just like colors on my food, and it makes the food look really pretty. I'm sure there's some sort of like nutrients or fiber benefits of eating these. And that's the cool part is I just ate vegetables because they tasted good on my food and added more volume. And then I like started looking at all the nutrients I was accruing. Like I technically don't need to take a multivitamin, but I take it anyways just because what's wrong with, having extra nutrients and vitamins in your body? There's not a lot that are bad for you. Technically, you can overdose on Flintstones vitamins, but I don't think I'm taking that many. There we go. And sometimes I'm feeling holistic and I know it's more bioavailable to get your nutrients from food forms rather than from like just from some supplement factory. I'm sure they're somewhat similar to a degree, but something about getting it from food, I just feel better about it. So, and we know the placebo is a real effect. It's a real thing. It's measurable. So, placebo myself. Okay, need a plate. Gotta get this cheddar cheese on ASAP so it can melt before I burn my omelet. There we go. I'm going to keep my diet mostly the same in the off season. I'll try and work some other things in, because it's always fun being creative. But I'm going to keep it mostly the same. I'll definitely keep eating this egg white omelet until I get tired of it. It's just really enjoyable. And the oats, those will stay in. I think I'll just add, like, what I'll end up adding is like toast and more cheese. The cheese doesn't seem to bother my digestion, so I'll keep doing it. But oats with toast in the morning with some cheese, I think that would be good. I also do these like stuffed tomatoes, which are really fun. They just take a bit longer to cook. But I hollow out some tomatoes. I cut up a bunch of bread. I throw it in a pan, and I put in eggs. So if I just throw in some chicken with that, that would be really good. It's just a fun way to dress my food up. It's basically just an omelet, just deconstructed. And that's all really cooking is deconstructing your food and arranging it in such a way that it looks prettier. But hey, you eat with your eyes, or at least some cultures believe it. I certainly do. All right, cheese is almost melted. I'm gonna turn that heat off. We don't need any more heat. I'm gonna burn the damn omelet. I'm trying to get that like just perfect crisp on the edge without too much going on. We'll find that sweet spot soon enough. Okay, let's see what that looks like. But I was just doing egg whites, and I was scrambling them and putting just some, I think I was putting these vegetables in there as well. And I used to hate my breakfast. It was like, oh God, I don't want to eat this. Because when you scramble your egg whites, they release a lot of water. And then with vegetables, which sweat is what that's like how they describe it or whatever, the vegetables sweat out water. It makes your eggs even more wet. And I just don't find like wet egg whites or just wet eggs in general very appetizing. You know, melty, creamy eggs with like a lot of cheese, those are the bomb, but it just wasn't what I was looking for. All right. So it's a salad day. We're going to enjoy these carbs, enjoy this food, you know, enjoy our Diet Coke with our breakfast. We'll stay busy doing other things to keep our mind active throughout the day. And then, oh, nice. We'll call this one a 9. I think it's better to chase perfection than, you know, assume that you're that great. I don't think this is perfect. I think it could be improved. But it's a great omelet. It's beautiful. Okay, so we're going to cover it one more time and let that cook itself a little bit more, and then finish off the oats. Yeah, I've talked to people before, like when I was on a diet, my first time for a bodybuilding show, you know, I was very focused. I think I lost like 60 pounds for that diet. Obviously, once again, started from a very fat point in my life, and that's never a good way to start a diet because all you do is add activity and take away food. And if you're not eating a lot because you've just eaten so much shitty food, then you're going to start with your diet with a very slow metabolism, basically. And what we're going to have to do to you to get you to, lose the weight is keep adding activity and taking away food to a point where you're basically going to be starving. You won't be training very hard because you don't have enough food. So you're going to feel small. You're going to look small. Just not a good time. So it's better to start, from a more lean point, which is why I'm pretty happy because I didn't gain a lot of weight before I started this diet. I was already dieting over last summer and I got to a really good position. I think I was about where I am now. Then I got a girlfriend and then we started eating out a lot and drinking a lot. And I put on like 20 pounds. So I'd say I'm like over that 20-pound loss now. I got it back, got myself where I need to be. And from there, now we're going to start seeing real progress from where I was last. And that's what I'm excited about. I'm really excited to see where this goes. This is the most food I've ever eaten at this body weight. I've been very disciplined. I think I got my training on point finally. And I think everything's just kind of working for once. And I feel like a really competent bodybuilder. So we're going to complete this diet. We're going to do it right. We're going to do it to the highest level we can. And then we will maintain that discipline. That's where I lacked last time, and I got very fat after my show. And I will keep that body fat off as long as I can. And I will just keep bulking until I feel like I'm at a point where, okay, this is getting to a point where I'm looking kind of fat. I'll maintain that weight for like one training cycle as best as I can to really like hold the weight on and make it feel like it's solidified. And then from there, start a diet. I feel like if you bulk up and then immediately cut, your body is like, oh, well, we just put all this new muscle on. Let's just take it off. I feel like that's possible. It's definitely I just made that up. I just pulled that out of my ass. But it's the way like I'm logically thinking about it. And if your body likes to store fat and it knows muscle consumes energy, I feel like if you just put on new muscle, your body's like, let's just take this stuff off. And I think that's what bodybuilders are talking about when they talk about having mature muscle. And I think mature muscle is mostly just, retaining muscle mass through a diet and the muscle mass that sticks because you've just had it for so long. There's some muscle mass on me that I didn't work out for months. I wasn't eating right and I still stayed strong on those exercises. My legs still stayed big because that's my strength. I still stayed big where I'm genetically predisposed to. So I'm just going to keep hammering on those, try to get the muscle to stick, and then we'll diet again and try to get leaner and try to get to a point where we can maintain a fairly lean physique consistently. And then each time we get lean, it's just disgusting how lean we get. So oats, egg whites, got to get all the vitamins out. I take these vitamins twice per day, and some of them I take 3 times per day. I spread out my blood pressure, cholesterol, and circulation supplements throughout the day. Just like it's good to spread them out with meals rather than taking one big dose. I take my glucose stabilizers throughout the day as well with each major carbohydrate meal. Today, since I have a low carb day, I only take my glucose stabilizer with breakfast and dinner, just so that my insulin doesn't spike ungodly high. We got our nattokinase, that's for cardiovascular support. Collagen for joints, tendons, everything's like those. Citrus bergamot, that's also another blood pressure, cardiovascular health thing. We got our omega fish oils, great for your cholesterol, lowering blood pressure. Animal Pack, it's a great foundational multivitamin. I take this with me when I go to work, so that's why it's in this little travel bag. But I got my blood pressure stabilizer, just trying to keep it all healthy, Cholesterol support. This one's circulation. One of my favorite things in it is horse chestnut, and that's supposed to help with lower limb blood flow. They say it can help with weaker valves in your legs, which leads to people getting varicose veins. So if you have that issue, maybe that's something to think about. But low carb day. We're going to enjoy these carbs, and then we're going to get through the day, and then we're going to enjoy carbs again for dinner. 4 slices of French toast. If you want to see how to cook those, I've been uploading videos where it's actually like the recipe that are really short and easy to follow. Otherwise, these videos are just me just talking to talk. Y'all have a good day.